Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news now, fans of the black and gold. Today we have some significant updates coming from the Steelers camp that might seem small on the surface but could have larger ramifications for the team's roster and future plans. It's about a player who, until recently, was fighting for a spot on the roster, but now finds himself moving on, and that's Brandon Johnson. Yes, the wide receiver who was part of the team's roster picture last season and in the preseason, but who, due to injury, is now officially out of Pittsburgh's plans, at least for the foreseeable future. So, what happened exactly? Well, the Steelers decided to move on from Johnson, who was placed on injured reserve earlier this year. But here's the twist. Just a few days ago, the team announced they had removed him from IR via an injury settlement. This is a pretty common move in the NFL when a team decides that a player, due to injury, isn't part of their immediate plans, and they want to give him the chance to recover and possibly sign elsewhere. And that's exactly what's happening with Johnson. NFL insider Aaron Wilson first reported that the Steelers had officially released him from IR with an injury settlement. This news was later confirmed by Nick Farabaugh from Penn Live. Who added some more context, explaining that Johnson is currently in a walking boot after suffering a foot injury during the team's final preseason game against the Carolina Panthers. Now, it's important to understand the significance of this injury in the broader picture. Johnson, although not a household name in Pittsburgh, had some intriguing potential. Last year, he appeared in 3 games for the Steelers, playing a modest but promising role. He saw a total of 19 offensive snaps and caught his only target for 9 yards. That might not seem like much, but for a player fighting for a spot on the roster, even these small contributions can be crucial. Interestingly, Johnson didn't appear on special teams at all during those games, which suggests that his primary role was as a depth receiver, waiting for an opportunity to shine. Before his time in Pittsburgh, Johnson spent time with the Denver Broncos, where he played during the 2022 and 2023 seasons. In 2023, he managed to register 19 catches for 284 yards and 4 touchdowns over 13 games. That's a solid stat line for a player still trying to make a name for himself in the league. His ability to stretch the field and find the end zone was noted as a potential asset for any team, especially one looking to add depth and explosive plays from the receiver position. But now, with this injury and subsequent release, Johnson's immediate future is uncertain. It's not just about his injury, it's about what this means for the Steelers and their roster strategy. The team is clearly looking to refine their wide receiver group, especially after the high-profile signing of quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers, during a recent appearance on Pat McAfee's show, mentioned that there are some guys on the Steelers' offense that fans and analysts might not know much about yet, but that you'll start hearing more about them as the season progresses. While Rodgers didn't name Johnson specifically, his comments suggest that the organization saw potential in him, perhaps as a future contributor once he recovered from his injury. It's worth mentioning that Johnson began his NFL journey as an undrafted free agent with the Denver Broncos in 2022. He was waived with an injury settlement after the preseason, but re-signed with their practice squad in October, making his debut on November 19. That kind of journey, undrafted, waived, then re-signed, speaks to how competitive and unpredictable NFL careers can be, especially for players fighting for every inch on the roster. The Steelers, in particular, have shown a willingness to take chances on such players, especially in preseason and training camp, looking for hidden gems that can contribute in key moments. Now, regarding the immediate future, there's a possibility that the Steelers might circle back to Johnson once he's fully recovered. Teams often keep an eye on players they've previously shown interest in, especially if that player's skill set matches a specific need. Before his injury, Johnson was considered a strong candidate to make the team's practice squad, and perhaps even push for a spot on the active roster if he impresses during recovery. Looking at the bigger picture, This move also reflects the ongoing competition within the Steelers' wide receiver room. With the offseason acquisitions and the development of younger players, the team is clearly aiming to balance experience and youth. Players like Johnson, with his ability to stretch the field and make contested catches, could have been a valuable asset to the team's offensive scheme. But injuries are part of the game, and sometimes they shift the roster dynamics unexpectedly. And let's not forget, the Steelers' offensive outlook is also shaped by the return of quarterback Kenny Pickett and the addition of Rodgers. The veteran quarterback's arrival has heightened expectations, and the coaching staff will want to find the right pieces to complement his play and maximize the team's offensive potential. The receiver position, as always, remains a critical area to watch, especially with some of the younger talents competing to step into larger roles this season. Now, in terms of what this means for the Steelers' season, it's a reminder that every roster move, no matter how small it seems, can have ripple effects. The team's depth at wide receiver is still being built, and injuries like Johnson's open up opportunities for other players to step up. It also underscores the importance of health and recovery, especially as the season approaches. The Steelers are known for their resilience and strong organizational culture, and moves like this are part of the ongoing process to build a team that can contend week after week. In the context of the AFC North, where the division is fiercely competitive with teams like the Ravens, Bengals, and Browns always lurking, every move counts. The Steelers' management and coaching staff are known for their savvy in roster management, and this move reflects their strategic thinking. They're aware that the season is long, and every player, every injury, and every decision can tilt the balance. While Johnson's journey with the Steelers might have been cut short for now, it's not necessarily the end of his NFL story. Teams often circle back to players they believe in once they're healthy, and Johnson's talent could still find a place somewhere in the league. Looking ahead, Steelers fans should keep a close eye on how the roster shapes up in the coming weeks. The team's depth chart at wide receiver will evolve, and new names may emerge from the practice squad or free agency. The coaching staff, led by head coach Mike Tomlin, has a proven track record of developing players and adapting to challenges. They've faced injuries before, and they know how to build a resilient team that can compete at the highest level. And of course, the excitement around the Steelers' offense is palpable. With Rodgers in the mix, there's a renewed optimism that this could be a breakthrough year. The veteran QB's experience and leadership, combined with the offensive weapons at his disposal, including the potential of young players like Johnson before his injury, create a lot of buzz. Fans are eager to see how the chemistry develops and who steps up as the primary targets for Pickett and Rodgers. So, as we process this news about Brandon Johnson's departure, it's a reminder of how fluid the NFL roster landscape truly is. Every injury, every release, and every signing can change the course of a team's season. But one thing remains constant: the passion and resilience of Steelers fans, who never stop believing in their team's potential. The Steelers have a rich history of overcoming adversity, and this latest move is just another chapter in that ongoing story. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this situation? Do you think Johnson could have been a key piece if he had recovered fully? Or do you believe the team is making the right move by moving on now? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion really matters to us and to the Steelers organization. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, more news, and more insights into everything happening in Steelers country. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and as always, let's go Steelers. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news.